platforms. Email your resume and cover letter to advertising@WZMQ19.com today.
Here we go. Survivors ready. Is everybody ready to race? Go! Go, go, go.
Lord have mercy.
Here we go.
Why am I crying?
Obviously, we're dancing.
We're singing.
I'm a dancer.
Very sorry to tell you.
The tribe has spoken.
New seasons of Survivor and The Amazing Race, CBS Wednesday, and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Get an 11% rebate on paint supplies now at Menards. Give your room a grand finish with Pittsburgh Grand Distinction Interior Paint. It's a premium paint and primer with a tough, resilient finish that's ultra scrubbable and stain resistant. A gallon starts at $31.99 after rebate. Revolutionize your space with Pittsburgh's Revolution Interior Paint. It offers game-changing stain and scuff resistance in just one coat. A gallon starts at $44.49 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go.
3, 2.
For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market.
And don't forget, we're
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Shunk Furniture.
Mr. Mattress here. It's our free box spring event. It happens only once a year. Buy any mattress from our Mr. Mattress collection and the foundation's free. Any size, twin, full, queen, or king. 7 different models to choose from. Pick your comfort, firm, plush, or pillow top. They're all here for you to try. Get a premium pillow top queen size mattress for just $7.99 and the box foundation's free. Get a twin size for $5.49 and the box foundation's free. Shop Shunks at Marquette today.
Hey everyone, apologies for the delay. Let's kick things off by sending it over to Tom DeVecchio for our first look at weather.
Checking out the Marquette planner here, we're looking at nice mild weather and then getting cooler as northwest winds kick in and temperatures will be dropping very quickly. As you can see, almost 10-degree drops every 4 hours, bottoming out to near 20 by daybreak. So definitely a cold one for tonight, but not much happening. Pretty decent wind as well. Rest of the forecast is coming up later in the show. Kevin?
Tom, thanks very much. Today, the former treasurer of Ford River Township's volunteer fire department pled guilty to felony embezzlement. Todd Anthony Holland confessed to taking $70,000 of fundraising money for his own use last July. Holland took a plea agreement for a charge of embezzlement of $20,000 or more, but less than $50,000. The charge is punishable by up to 10 years in prison, but the prosecution is only recommending a few months if Holland repays the full amount by his sentencing date.
It took us quite a few years to build up that money through different fundraising events, pancake breakfast raffles. We still get a township budget every year, so we can still get the necessities. So it's not like we're in jeopardy of not being able to operate, but the fundraising money gives us the opportunity to purchase additional equipment.
Holland will appear in court for sentencing on April 28th. Over the weekend, another court case ended in a mistrial after a hung jury could not reach a unanimous verdict. Our Escanaba reporter Lily Simmons has the details from the Delta County Courthouse.
Kevin, Jacob Cronick was on trial for shooting his former father-in-law Eric Perota last January. According to witness testimony and video footage, Perota arrived at Cronick's home with 3 other men and his daughter, Cronick's ex-wife, to collect some of her personal property. Cronick told Perota to leave several times and the two got into a verbal argument. Perota then knocked Cronick's phone from his hands and Cronick pinned him against the hood of a car. The other men jumped into the fight, with Cronick testifying that one had his arm around his throat and said he would put him to sleep, leading Cronick to believe he was was going to die. Cronic broke free, stepped away from the men, and pushed past 3 individuals before shooting Perota. Cronic described his vision in that moment as if he were looking through a sheet and said he saw Perota raise his arm and believed he was pointing a gun at him. However, the prosecution argued that Cronic never mentioned seeing a gun to the responding officers that day. The prosecution focused on Cronic's large size in comparison to Perota's and the fact that no one was moving toward him when he shot. Cronic's defense primarily centered around his description of an existing fear of Perota, citing several times over the years Perota berated or intimidated him during child custody exchanges. Deliberations began on Friday, and by Saturday afternoon, the jury was deadlocked. According to the judge, the jury's primary point of contention was the definition of defensive duress, with the foreman believing it would be impossible for the jury to reach a unanimous decision in the case. Cronic's attorney sent WZMQ 19 a statement reading in part, "A hung jury indicates that there was significant debate and consideration," highlighting Kevin Jacob.
All right, sorry about that, folks. Let's move on. Northern Michigan University is considering adding a dental hygiene curriculum. In the UP, the need for dental health professionals is at a critical level due to economic and logistical conditions. There's also not enough dentists and dental hygienists. NMU is partnering with the Delta Dental Foundation to launch a feasibility study on the viability of adding a degree in dental hygiene.
Dental hygiene right now tends to be held in more urban areas, and a lot of it is based on volume. However, right now in the Midwest, all of the hygiene schools have about a 3 to 5 year waiting list. So I don't think recruitment would be a challenge.
It's too early for specifics, but Burr believes this 2-year program would be a good fit for within the School of Nursing. State lawmakers are looking to make Michigan a better place for nuclear energy. Michigan's Healthy Climate Plan starts to phase out natural gas generation in 2030. To make up for the loss of baseload energy, representatives are hoping to increase the state's nuclear energy production. A package of bipartisan bills would introduce scholarships for post-secondary students looking to work specifically in nuclear and create tax credits for research, development, and installation of new small modular reactor technology.
Our aircraft carriers and submarines are already powered with small modular reactors, basically, right? These are tiny nuclear reactors powering ships. So the technology is there. It's just how do you adapt it for civilian use?
We'll have more information about those bills tonight at 11:10 Central. Your first warning weather forecast is after the break. Plus, everyone's favorite Upper educator, Jim Koski, is here for Life in the 906. Today, he's traveling back in time. And later, Puerto Rico authorities look to end rumors the president is looking to remove them as a U.S. territory. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Better begins with the way we see each other. Better begins with the way we treat each other. Better begins with the way we care for each other. Better begins at Aspirus Health, bringing out the better in all of us.
Have you heard? Affordable healthcare is better than ever. And right now there are more carriers and plans to choose from. If you're between 18 and 64 years old with a household income of $25,000 or less, this message is for you. Right now, the government's Affordable Care Act is available for individual and family health coverage plans with little to no cost to you. Don't gamble your health. Call Health Care for All. 70% of callers qualify for a zero-cost health care coverage. See if you are one of them. Call now. Our agents are standing by to help you get the health insurance plan you and your family needs and deserves. If you're uninsured or struggling to afford your current health insurance, help is just a phone call away. This is not Medicaid or Medicare. This is the marketplace with the largest selection of healthcare plans from the Affordable Care Act. To find a plan that's right for you, call 800-626-9042. That's 800-626-9042.
Do you wonder if playing the same Michigan lottery numbers over and over again improves your odds to win? That's actually a myth. You see, every set of numbers always has the same chance of winning because every drawing is random. Previous results have no effect on future drawings. So know the facts. If If it stops being a game, call the helpline or visit our website. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Checking out the headlines for the UP and Marquette area, definitely turning colder for tonight. And we have a cold, chilly hit in the weather as we head on into tomorrow. But then it's back to mild weather after that, and not much in the way of precipitation for this week. As for daylight hours, March is where it's at. The daylight change here for March is between the 1st and the 30th. We gain over an hour and a half of daylight. It's the month with the greatest amount of daylight increase. No other month has that kind of increase like March does. So enjoy the daylight. Maybe improve your mood after those darker days of the wintertime season. In the meantime, winds will be out of the northwest here as we head toward Tuesday morning. You can see they do pick up as the front goes through, and it's going to be a cold one, no doubt, for tomorrow, though the winds tend to diminish. Checking out the headlines for the UP and Marquette area, definitely turning colder for tonight, and we have a cold, chilly hit in the weather as we head on into tomorrow. But then it's back to mild weather after that, and not much in the way of precipitation for this week. As for daylight hours, March is where it's at. The daylight change here for March is between the 1st and the 30th. We gain over an hour and a half of daylight.
All right, apologies for that, everyone. Obviously, that was a recording of Tom. He did not just break the matrix or anything. Let's move on now. Puerto Rico's government is trying to squash a rumor going around the island, which claims President Trump is looking at ways to make the U.S. territory independent from the U.S. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp now joins us live from the U.S. Capitol. Rachel, good evening. What is the latest, and how would a change in territory status for the island mean for the U.S.?
Good evening, Kevin. So the Puerto Rico officials that I spoke with say that that claims that the president is looking at changing the island's status to independent are false. They say that, and have been reiterating that in these past couple of elections that many Puerto Ricans are supportive of statehood, becoming the 51st state. Now, what that could potentially mean is that a lot of changes, specifically for the nearly 3 million people on the island, from federal benefits to voting rights. Last week, Puerto Rico's Governor Jennifer Gonzalez visited Washington, advocating for the island to become the 51st state.
This is not a political movement. This is a people's movement.
But by the end of the week, a Daily Mail article claims President Trump was being lobbied to make Puerto Rico an independent nation.
That is not true.
Gabriela Buffelli, the executive director of the Puerto Rico Federal Affairs Administration, which is the island's liaison in D.C., is pushing back on this claim.
We talked to the White House, several people in the
Ultimately, it's up to Congress to decide Puerto Rico's status. There have been a couple of pushes with legislative text to change and determine Puerto Rico's future, but they really don't get too far here in the halls of Congress. Kevin, back to you.
Rachel, thank you very much. After the break, Mike Ludlum breaks down all the latest sports headlines in the UP, including which high school teams are advancing in the playoffs. We'll be right back.
CBS Tonight. Join the legendary Ringo Starr and his superstar friends for a country music celebration.
Are you ready to have some fun?
Dolly Parton, Emmylou Harris, Jack White, Lainey Wilson, Mickey Guyton, Paul McCartney, Sheryl Crow, The Warren Treaty, and more. It's Ringo like you've never heard him before.
You ready to hear some good music?
Ringo and Friends at the Ryman. CBS Tonight, 8/7 Central, and streaming on Paramount Plus.
The wait is over. England Furniture's quick shipping is back at Kirkish Furniture. Choose your style and fabric and receive your furniture in as little as 30 days. Browse our in-stock selection or let our staff help you customize the perfect sofa or chair. Plus 1 year free financing and free delivery.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota. Imagine the hidden gems you'll find. Sweet.
Ribs, please.
Imagine all the dust you'll kick up.
Yeah.
Easy.
Imagine the memories you'll make. And some you'd like to forget.
Save on the best-selling Tacoma and lease this well-equipped 25 Tacoma TRD Sport for $369 a month. Or you can get 4.99 APR financing on Tacoma.
Go from dreaming it to driving it today.
Toyota, let's go places.
If you are suffering from mesothelioma, lung cancer, or pulmonary fibrosis, you may be entitled to compensation, even if you smoked. Call Detroit-based Goldberg, Persky & White, working lawyers for working people for more than 35 years.
Struggling with moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis? Talk to your doctor about #1 prescribed Entyvio, offering 2 maintenance options, including the Entyvio pen. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. PML, a rare, potentially fatal brain infection, cannot be ruled out. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, sores, or are prone to infections. Liver problems can occur. Entyvio, relief, remission for real.
Entyvio, Entyvio, Entyvio.
Good evening, everyone. 4 men's basketball teams from the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference have qualified for the NCAA Division II Midwest Regional next weekend at Illinois Springfield. NMU met Lake Superior State in the GLIAC Championship yesterday in Houghton. One minute and 13 seconds into the first half, NMU's Dylan Keel was helped off the court with a knee-related injury, but things look good all right for the green and gold. It is Gerald Gittens Jr. with that three-pointer to start the scoring. He had 11 points and 8 rebounds. Then Jackson Dudek, after a layup, would find the mark from three-point range, and the Wildcats had an 8-0 lead. Dudek with 19 points and 9 rebounds. Brian Parzik filled Keel's spot in the lineup, and he will knock down this triple as well. He had 12 points, and the green and gold had a 13-6 lead. The Lakers only made 5 baskets in the first 20 minutes, shooting less than 20% from the floor. Tyson Edmondson here off the window. He led with 19 points and 7 rebounds. End of the half, Jackson Dudek was in trouble, pass to Julian Smith, and the 3-ball will find its destination just in time. And the Wildcats had a 40-18 margin at the break. Smith had 15 points. NMU shot 50% from the floor. And my video is frozen. Okay, well, let's try this then. We'll just say that NMU went on to win the game 78-63. There was a nice dunk by Dylan Keel at the end of the highlights. I guess we won't see those, but how about the interviews after the 78-63 win?
We had no all-conference players except Dylan. None. We had no all-defensive guys besides Dylan. And what I think it means is our 2 through 12, 13 are that good. You know, frankly, we belonged in the NCAA tournament this year. We just did. And so it would have felt a little.
Okay, didn't want to hear that one either. We can tell you that this is the 3rd straight GLIAC championship for the Wildcats. And now I hear the graphics are not working, so we will play radio for just a minute since Jim Kowski is here and talk about the NCAA tournament for Division II. Again, it's at Illinois Springfield. Number 8 Malone will take on number 1 Missouri S&T, which is technically the host team. That will be Saturday, and that game will be at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Number 5 Ferris against number 4 Missouri St. Louis will be at 8:30 at night. Then earlier in the day it will be Lincoln, Missouri against Lake Superior State at 3:30. And the first game is actually Michigan Tech and NMU, and that will start at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, again at Illinois Springfield. Now on the women's side, number 8 Quincy will be at number 1 Grand Valley State. The Lakers are the host for this tournament. Their games are on Friday. That one will be at 5 o'clock. Lewis and Wayne State will play at 7:30 on Friday. Hillsdale takes on NMU. That will be the first game of the day, Friday at noon. And Ferris State and Ashland will be the other game that takes place at 2:30. So 4 games at Grand Valley for the women and 4 games at Illinois Springfield for the men. Taking a look at the GLIAC most valuable players of the tournament, if we could, if that lovely video would like to roll, that would be appreciated. And Jackson Dudek of NMU was the most valuable player. Brian Parzik of NMU also on the all-tournament team, along with Lake Superior State's Tyson Edmondson and Hunter Soper, Jimmy Scholar from Ferris State, and the player of the year in the GLIAC, Marcus Tomashik of Michigan Tech. Escanaba grad Nicole Kameen, the most valuable player of the women's tournament from Grand Valley. Her teammate Riley Bisbal is also on that team, plus Ferris State's Kenzie Bowers, Mia Hiram of the Bulldogs, along with Abby Fraser of NMU, and Shay Tripp of Wayne State. The hockey schedule is pretty much done for the Michigan teams, at least in the Upper Peninsula. Michigan Tech was eliminated in 2 games by Bowling Green, 2-1 in overtime and 4-0. Lake Superior State was excused by Minnesota State 4-1 and 3-2. So those were both 2-0 sweeps there. As I get to the right page of what is left, we want to congratulate our youth hockey team. The Escanaba Hawks 14 under squad won the state title over the weekend. Escanaba defeated the Bad Axe Barn Burners 9-3. That tournament took place in Iron Mountain. The Hawks scored 51 goals in 4 games. That's a pretty good average. Hopefully, if things get better tonight, we will have plenty of girls regional semifinal basketball. And other than that, that's pretty good for now. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. And when we come back, Jim Koski heads back in time for Life in the 906. Don't go away.
What happens when the world's best journalists come together?
This was an entire building. It will take years to rebuild.
We're from CBS News, American television.
You get the all-new CBS Evening News every weeknight.
Jennifer Hudson Show. The fabulous Laverne Cox.
Short hair, don't care. I think it's a new era.
It's giving.
Whatever you can do to bring yourself joy, do it.
Plus, find your wow colors.
You all can do this in your home using just pieces from your closet. Yes!
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6.
Stay tuned to save $10 on the amazing socket fan light from Bell & Howell.
When you're hot, nothing feels better than the gentle cooling breeze of a ceiling fan. This is the revolutionary socket fan by Bell & Howell. The amazing 2-in-1 ceiling fan and light. If you can screw in a light bulb, you can hang the socket fan light. Socket fan comes with this handy remote. With a push of a button, you can control the light and the breeze that you need. Socket fan fits any standard light socket. You can do it yourself and install socket fan in less than 10 seconds.
And now, the socket fan light with deep socket extender is yours for $59.95. Act now, and we'll take $10 off. So you get it for just $49.95 with free shipping. Order now, and you can get a second fan for 50% off, and the shipping is free.
Get cool fast with socket fan.
Call 1-800-506-4503 or go to buysocketfan.com.
Closed captioning sponsored by Range Bank of Upper Michigan.
This is home for CBS. WZMQ 19.
Welcome back, everyone. Jim Koski is here for Life in the 906. Jim, I know you're doing some time traveling today.
You know, I am, Kevin, because 5 years ago, this was gold. This week marks the 5th anniversary of our world shutting down, the start of the COVID pandemic. And I'm going to say something that might sound a little bit strange considering everything we had to go through during those long months. But in one small regard, I miss COVID. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't miss people dying. I don't miss hospitals stretched to their limits. I don't miss businesses not knowing if they had a future. I don't miss the lack of meaningful social interaction. And I certainly don't miss people hoarding this stuff. But you know what I do miss? You remember the first few weeks of the pandemic when we could all agree that it was a bad thing, and we could all agree we needed to do something to stop its spread, and we could all agree that we were in this together? That's what I miss. Because I don't know if we're ever going to agree on anything ever again. Here in the UP, we spent the first weeks of the pandemic dealing with it the way we deal with almost everything, by looking out for each other, by doing what needed to be done, and by doing it with a healthy dose of humor. Of course, that sense of togetherness dissipated after the first few weeks. We suffered through a couple of nasty months of sickness and arguments about lockdowns, public responsibilities, and personal freedoms. And by the time we were the first area of Michigan to be reopened, we had lost 800 of our fellow Upers to the virus. That's the equivalent of the population of Calumet. Now, the cynical part of me realizes that our world changed forever 5 years ago this week, and not for the better. But the optimistic part of me would still like to remember how we all came together and at least for a few weeks did our best to make sure each and every one of us living in this magical place got through it safely. Because with the way things have changed since, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't happen again. I'm Jim Koski, and that's another slice of life in the 906.
Jim, thank you very much, as always. And don't forget to join Jim weekday afternoons on Q107 WMQT. Jim, thank you. Ringo goes country, the Deli Boys take over their dad's business, and a new series tells the story of the ascent of the biblical figure David. Danu Bacchus has your Eye on Entertainment.
Ringo's star is getting by with a little help from his friends on country music's biggest stage in tonight's CBS special, Ringo and Friends at the Ryman.
Are you ready to have some fun? Are you ready to hear some good music?
The 2-hour special celebrates the music and legacy of the former Beatle with performances and duets from his decades-long career. Special guests include Mickey Guyton, Brenda Lee, and others. Catch Ringo and Friends at the Ryman tonight on CBS or stream it on Paramount+.
Can one stone change the course of history?
The series House of David follows the ascent of the biblical figure David from an outcast teenager to the King of Israel. Stephen Lang plays the prophet Samuel, who anoints David to replace the once mighty King Saul, who's fallen victim to his own pride.
First and foremost, the obligation, it seems to me, is to tell the story, to tell a great story. The story of David represents a real step for humanity. Just the story of this young man overcoming the circumstances of his own birth.
House of David is streaming now on Prime Video. And the spoiled sons of a convenience store owner take over the family business when their dad dies, but they have no idea the store was a front for a criminal enterprise in the series Deli Boys.
My boys, if you're seeing this, it means the unthinkable has happened. Time to learn how you'll make real money.
Deli Boys is streaming now on Hulu.
Coming up after the break, Tom DeVecchio gives us a final look at weather. We'll be right back.
What happens when the world's best journalists come together?
This was an entire building. It will take years to rebuild.
We're from CBS News, American television.
You get the all-new CBS Evening News every weeknight.
Jennifer Hudson Show. The fabulous Laverne Cox.
Short hair, don't care. I think it's a new era.
It's giving.
Whatever you can do to bring yourself joy, do it.
Plus, find your wow colors.
You all can do this in your home using just pieces from your closet. Yes!
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6. Here's your WZMQ CBS This is Home Community Calendar. WZMQ 19 seeks a talented and dynamic multimedia account executive who thrives in a fast-paced working environment. Passionate, motivated, goal-oriented individuals should apply. Responsibilities include identifying the needs of local businesses, developing strong relationships, selling advertising on our TV, digital, and CTV platforms. Email your resume and cover letter to advertising@WZMQ19.com today.
This is home for CBS. WZMQ 19.
CBS Mornings, right here on WZMQ 19.
Clouds on the increase for this evening and a few hits of some light snow late tonight.
and into the early morning hours tomorrow, but that'll be replaced by some sunshine later on the day. But temperatures, they will remain on the cold side. Clouds come back in for Tuesday night. May set off again a few flakes of snow on Wednesday. This time, not the cold front, but a warm front. That will mean some milder temperatures, near 40. In fact, by Wednesday, we should be able to get to 50 by Friday. Kevin, back to you.
Tom, thank you. Finally tonight, the 4th annual UperCon took place at NMU today. The cybersecurity education event was held at the Northern Center, welcoming high school students from around the UP. Guest speakers with backgrounds in cyber technology and cybersecurity came to speak on the importance of their careers and answer questions about the field. Students also participated in a variety of learning sessions with equipment provided by the Upper Peninsula Cybersecurity
defending against scam.
And that's all the time we have for right now, everyone. We'll see you later tonight.